Hey Ponders, welcome back to another episode of Pause, Sip, and Ponder. This is a podcast where we talk about everything and anything in the aim to give you some inspiration, some hope, some light, some encouragement for your day. And my name's Pauline, and this is going to be an interesting episode. So by majority vote on Instagram, I asked you guys if you were interested in watching a visual of me doing my makeup or something while I do my episode. And you can hear the full version on my podcast, Pause and Ponder, on all major platforms. This is just a cut version of what I learned at 20. I turned 20 on the 13th, and I can't wait to share with what I've learned. I know I'm still young and I have many years to go, but these are just the things I've experienced, and I really encourage you guys to reflect. Every time you have a birthday, just reflect on what has happened and look forward to what's going to happen. So if you're ready, sit back, relax, and let's just ponder. Oh, and also side note before I start, I am no makeup guru, probably never will be. I haven't really kept up with makeup for a long time. So if I do anything triggering to those who are actually good at makeup and who wear it often, then I'm sorry. Number one, patience actually makes things easier, which I found to be super, super true. As a kid, I think since I was always raised to be independent, I had a lot of responsibilities as a kid. I was really thrown with a lot of things where I had to look ahead and always find solutions to things by myself. So I think that just developed into the person I am as this anxious person, and I think that really has to do with me just always being on edge. So dealing with patience growing up was definitely something that was a challenge for me, but growing up over the years, I found that just letting things go, letting things happen naturally, letting God do what he does best, has really helped me emotionally, financially, mentally, in so many different aspects. You know, sometimes we want things to go a certain way, especially after senior year. We just have all these dreams, all these things lined up, and we end up, following a different path. And sometimes it's even a better path than what we envisioned before. So I truly believe that just sitting down and just calming down, taking in the moment, and also just being still and letting things pass naturally will really help things in the process. Number two, in order to love someone, you must love yourself. And I know we always say this, people always tell us that, but it's actually really true. Something I've experienced. And, everyone desires to be loved. Everyone desires to show love and be in love, but in all different types of relationships, there's different ways that we have to let go and just love ourselves first, because in relationships for a significant other, I've learned that you will only be truly happy if you know for yourself what you want, and if you set the standards that will make you happy. I think sometimes we settle for less, or we expect too much, and at the end we're just disappointed because we're depending so much on this other person, and where that, once they failed us, we're just a wreck, and we regret being with the person, or we even start to hate ourselves for going into that relationship. And this can go for any type of relationship. And yes, I'm blending my concealer with my finger like we all did in 2010, 2009. So sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And this is something I always say, it's not about finding the one, it's about being the one. So every day, even if you're single or not single, you should always work on yourself. Within that time, you're working on yourself instead of searching for another person. And people go into relationships, searching for fulfillment, for happiness, excuse me, but at the end of the day, you are the only one who can really satisfy that, because you know what you want. Number three, trials are not permanent. It's pretty crazy how the things I would worry about in the past used to worry me so much. And it's crazy, after the years pass, you eventually forget about all those things that you encountered in life, things that you had to face. And, situations don't last. Sometimes the things that we experienced before are just very minimal to what we're going to experience in the future. And I know that's scary to think about, but also because you overcame that trial, you'll be even more equipped to experience the things ahead of us. Number 4, no matter how much love, care you put into someone, you may not always receive the same love back. Ouch. And for me, I am a lover. I love to give, I love to serve, I love being there for someone, I love being a friend, I love listening to people. I value people a lot. And I try to see the good in all people, and I make out my way for people, and it's just really a joy and a passion of mine. But sometimes the amount of care that I put into people may not always come back to me, and it's not that I'm expecting anything back, but I just find myself putting so much energy, time, my life into this person, any person. Again, I don't count my deeds towards others because all of it is genuine, and I never keep grudges against people who may not give back or seem to value the relationship or the friendship as much as I do. But it is okay to back off sometimes, and that's something that I've learned. I feel like for me, I feel like I have so much of a responsibility for other people. I make other people's issue my own, and where I don't even leave space, I don't even, care for myself at the end of the day. And also, don't take it too personal. That's something I've learned as well. Maybe they're going through something, and where they're not able to, reach out to everybody. And I think that's all of us in reality. So it's okay. Don't always take it personal, and who knows, maybe they'll come back. Number 5, you must lose things in order to gain new things. And friends, worry, toxic relationships we might be in, or certain mindsets or wants or needs. If they don't seem to add any value to your life, there's no need for them to be there. We all desire to be in a comfortable stage, right? And we fear losing things. We fear losing people. And sometimes we are the ones who actually hold ourselves back from gaining new things in life. And I've learned to love change because I've learned to see it in a new perspective, and where these changes in my life will just add new things that will benefit me, develop me, that will help me mature, that will help me get to the next destination. So if you're someone who is not comfortable with change, it takes time. It is a process, but don't get surprised if people are growing and you aren't. Number 6, and this is in first person because this is what I personally learned, but I believe that anybody can really apply this to their lives. So I was meant to be abundant. And this is an affirmation that I've been telling myself more, discovering more for myself, for my first years of my life, to put it in a nutshell. We were definitely struggling. I was not raised in the most privileged home financially. We were definitely blessed though, because we were, given a roof over our head, we were given the basic necessities, and I had food on the table most of the time. And years passed, everything that seemed to be lacking in my life eventually was filled with something, or, it was fulfilled, or it was replaced with something greater, something grander, and as if, the things that we experienced before didn't even happen. So that was a great blessing for me. Things like this take time, a long time, and I know in times of struggle and in times of lacking, it seems like that's what your life's going to be forever, but it's not. You're put there for a reason, but you're not meant to stay there. Number 7, stressing and worrying will never benefit you. And I know all of us know this, yet we still do it, like me. Especially me being a very, very anxious person. But at the end of the day, stressing has never benefited me. I don't think it has benefited, anyone. Stressing won't change the situations. That's what I've definitely learned, that stressing won't change the situation. It won't change your circumstances. You're just wasting your time stressing and worrying. Number 8, the biggest abuser in our lives is ourselves. And no matter how many people you point your fingers at, no matter how many people you blame for your hurt, for the things you've experienced, the heartbreak, blaming our circumstances, no matter how much we do that, the actual biggest abuser in our lives is ourselves. For example, we choose to believe that the harsh words, from others are the worst things we can get, but actually, we are the biggest abusers because sometimes we learn to accept them, we kind of internalize them, and we start to believe them, and we tell ourselves, yeah, maybe I am inadequate, I am ugly, I am, incapable, I'm not smart, I'm not worthy. And, words are so powerful, so I learned that if you have the power to put yourself down, you definitely have the power to lift yourself up. Right, number 9, manifestation has power. And manifestation is essentially, feeling something and making it yours and making it real, making it come to reality. When you manifest something, you're making it known to the universe, to the people around you, to yourself, and that this will be yours. And so I used it more and more, and whether you believe it or not, at least it helps you mentally, because it's basically just motivating yourself, telling yourself that it will happen, I will pass the exam, I will get this done. And after telling myself throughout the years that I will get this done, I will have this happen, I will obtain these things little by little, these things started to add to my life, these things started to appear. Now, don't think that it just happens by luck. It's definitely a process. It's not like a genie in a bottle where you say you want something and then you get it, and you have to take the initial steps to get there. But of course, you are the manifester. You are the one who makes things happen, alongside with God, and his grace and just helping us with that. But you yourself definitely have the power to manifest through your words. All right, number 10, my hard work and struggles will not go in vain. Of course, if we work hard at something, you'll most likely get what you want. We can't always get everything if we don't do anything at all. Even if I dread it in the moment because it sucks that I have to work hard, this much, that I have to do these certain things to get there, something good will always come out of it eventually, and it's the best feeling, knowing that you made it happen, and working hard at anything will, take you to so many different places in life. Hard work is something that was definitely instilled into my life, something that I was taught at a very young age. I grew up, helping my mom, clean houses and babysit. It teaches you, strength. It teaches you resilience, and it teaches you responsibility, and you learn to crave work even more. Like for me, I can't stay in one spot. I really want to work on something every single day. I love the feeling of productivity and, just getting things done. And it's because I really not only crave, the things that you will obtain at the end, but just I crave the experience, I crave the opportunity. Number 11, life is so much more than the basic life worries. And this is something I've always known, but it actually hit me, this year, just because of all the drama in life. But, it's so easy for us to get blinded and get caught up in life's worries. And in the Bible, it says, life is so much more than what you eat, or about your body or what you will wear. Life is so much more than that, Life is not about surviving, it's about living. All right, number 12, growth is a decision. No matter how many tutorials you watch on how to be a better person or do better in life, it's all useless at the end. All of them are useless words if we don't apply it to our lives, and if we don't process it and, put it into action. It's good to change habits little by little. You are the only one stunting your growth if you do not adapt to change, and if you do not want to grow and take the initial steps to get there. So it's up to you whether you want to grow. Number 13, time is so precious. It's better to follow and respect time instead of, regretting, afterwards. And anyways, time is always moving. Time is always moving forward. We can't go back. We have all the time in the world to change, to grow, to experience things. And instead of worrying about, the loss of time, focus more on the moment, right now, what you can do now, because tomorrow hasn't even happened yet. All right, again, this is talking in first person. So I said for number 14 that I am a dreamer, an adventurer, and I was not meant to live the traditional life. And I know this is not for everybody, but for me specifically, I truly began to learn that for myself. I'm not meant to live the traditional life, meaning I'm not meant to stay in one place. I'm not meant to be confined, in one thing. I'm meant to venture out, to wander different places. I was meant to be surrounded by, numerous groups of people. I was meant to do different things in life. And I don't know, I just never found myself staying in one spot, doing the same thing for the rest of my life. I was meant to be in places where I feel uncomfortable, and that's something I love. Not love, but like I really look forward to times of not being so comfortable, because I know within that time, that's where I grow, that's where I experience life to the fullest. I cannot experience life when I'm just confined in one place. So definitely do not want to do the normal 9 to 5. Life for me is just so much more than that. All right, number 15, my life is a testimony and my scars are my biggest story. So this is something that I truly, truly value. I think this is one of the main motivations in life, and the biggest realizations for me. I used to be suicidal. I used to be super depressed. Before, years ago, I would never think that my story would ever impact anybody. So it's very important that what you're experiencing right now, again, will not last. And someday in the future, it will be a testimony, it will be a story, it will be something that you'll be able to share with other people, to change their lives. All right, guys, so if you're watching the video, this is what my makeup looks like when I want to look presentable on a day-to-day, but I don't usually wear makeup anyways. But yeah, I told you it's going to be kind of short, but I'm going to continue with this episode. So number 16, you are where you're supposed to be in this very moment. So this is something actually my friend Nico mentioned to me, and it was just a big mind-blowing experience. Because sometimes we look so far ahead in our life. Sometimes we regret what we've done, and we feel like we're not supposed to be where we are right now. Today is what really matters, and you are where you're supposed to be, because it's gonna eventually lead you into a better place in the future. You are where you're supposed to be right now for a purpose, and it's for a bigger plan. Number 17, leave enough love for yourself. And I kind of said this already in the beginning, but I just wanted to highlight it. So I do find myself being exhausted, no energy, after spending so much time into another person. And this could be a friendship, relationship, your family, whatever, type of relationship. And where I haven't even focused on myself, I haven't focused on my personal self-growth, I haven't focused on the things that I personally need to work on, that I need to improve. And it's because, my focus has been somewhere else. So always leave love for yourself. Always find the time to have self-care days, treat yourself. Sometimes we spend too much on people, which I definitely do. Sometimes we just sacrifice our time for other people, and where we don't do the things that we personally love to do. Number 18, it kind of goes along with the last line, but it's okay to be selfish at times. So it's okay to tell people that, no, I can't, go to this and that. I have to do, what I have to do. So it's okay to be selfish as long as you are developing yourself, as long as it's for a purpose. And for me personally, if a friend can't accept that, you want to change, that you want to grow, that you want to make a difference in other people's lives, in your own lives, in the world, then they're not really a friend. It's okay to be selfish for your own benefit, for your own, care for yourself. So it's okay. And number 19, I said this again in my last one, but it's okay to not always say yes. for me, I found this to be true because I always say yes. I always find myself agreeing to a lot of responsibilities, and not that I have a problem with it all the time, it's just at the end of the day, I find that, wow, I'm juggling a lot of things and I don't know how I'm able to keep up with them or, do all of them. And I've learned that it's best to do a little less. Of course, I like to be always on top of things. I love, being productive and multitasking, but know your limits, know your boundaries, know how much you can do. Don't overwhelm yourself, don't overstress yourself because you agree to those things, Pauline. I found that it's best to do a little less and give it your best than to do a lot and sorry, I don't have a rhyme with with this one, but it's best to do less and give it your best and do a lot than, not giving it wholeheartedly or not giving it full passion or, your full focus on it. And anyway, someone else may be able to do it, or maybe there's another opportunity in where you'll say yes. It's not really you disappointing them, it's disappointing yourself because you're saying yes to that certain thing that you know that you can't handle and that you're going to overwhelm yourself. So don't always say yes. Number 20, the last one, and I specifically chose this one for the last one. I am still young. I am. And I think I grew up really, really fast. One, I had no choice to, really. I was thrown with so much responsibilities. I was thrown with so much roles. I was thrown into adult life at a quick age, and I think like an adult, and a lot of my friends have definitely caught on that. I definitely don't think like people my age. It's definitely helped me. I mean, I have a lot of older friends, but at the end of the day, I'm still younger than them, and that I have so much ahead of me. I think I rushed life because I just wanted to be where I'm supposed to be. I always felt out of place because I always had a certain mindset that maybe other people my age don't have yet. And, you can't blame other people for that because they just, developed or went through life a different way. But I have to remind myself that I'm still young, that I have so much time in the world, that I'm still learning, that I'm still growing, that I haven't fully reached where I'm supposed to be yet, and that there's just so much in store for me. And I'm definitely blessed for the things I have succeeded in, that I have achieved at my very young age. I definitely have an adult complex, but this spring or summer was really a big turning point for me, and where adult life really hit me, and it was just being shoved down my throat, and I was being overwhelmed. I was in a job that I was not happy in. And so I colored my hair purple, blue, pink, and magenta at one time, and it was beautiful, and I felt young, I felt vibrant, I felt alive, and it was one of the best feelings in the world to do that. Of course, when you go through a big change, you want to change something about yourself, and it did my hair. So it was definitely it definitely represented how I no longer wanted to fixate my life, my mindset on growing up so quickly, and I wanted to embrace the young, the youth in me that I kind of skipped on. So that's number 20. Alright, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening if you made it this far, and I really want to learn things from you. So comment below, DM me, share your experience, what you've learned in the years you've been living. It's good to look back. It's good to reminisce, and it just reminds you how old you're getting. But thank you again. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to Pause Sip and Ponder for more encouraging podcasts. And I can't wait to see what's in store for this podcast in general. We're gonna hit 1 year in January, which is very soon. So the biggest birthday present you guys can give me is to share Pause Sip and Ponder. This podcast has really blessed me tremendously, and just the connections it brought me the people it's brought me, and just being able to, help other people, encourage other people, bring positivity. And it's not me who does that, but it's really you guys, this community. So I really, really envision and manifest and declare that Positive and Ponder will be a community in where we help change the world, will help change our city, will help change our state, and that will definitely change, people's lives. So thank you again. I love you all. Stay tuned for next episode. Remember to always love, to always be curious, and to always ponder.